Hello guys, and welcome to another AutoCAD tutorial here on my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a customized title block having a company logo and other important details just like what we have here, which you can use anytime for your AutoCAD drawing. Previously on this tutorial, I used a customized template which I downloaded from the website, and I showed you how to export AutoCAD drawings into PDF format and in high quality. And a lot of viewers were asking for the template which I used for the link which they can download, and for that reason I decided to create this video. So I'll leave the link for downloading of that template in the description of this video, and as well you can create your own customized title block just like this in AutoCAD. So before we get started with the tutorial, if you're watching my videos for the first time, I will kindly request that you click on the subscribe button and on the bell icon to get notifications on all my latest videos. And if you have been following me, once again, thank you for stopping by for another session of this tutorial. And with that being said, let's get started with this tutorial. So to get started with showing you how to create this title block, I'm going to click on a new drawing environment, or to create a new drawing environment. And now I have a new drawing environment. So the first thing I'm going to do is to set the unit. So I'll type UN for unit command, and I'll make sure that this is set to decimal and my precision is set to 0 and the insertion scale is in millimeters. I'll click OK. The next thing, I'll create some layers. So click on layers properties, and I can click to create new layers. So I'll call this layer border 1 for the lines which I'm going to create, and I'll press enter. Again, I'll repeat layer and I'll call this border 2, and I'll press enter. Again, I'll repeat new layer and I'll call this text 1, and I'll press the enter key. Again, I'll repeat layer 2 and I'll call this text 2, and I'll press the enter key. So for border 1, I'm going to change the color from white to a blue color like this, and I'll click OK. The same thing for border 2, this will be from white to a blue color, and I'll click on OK. For border 2, I'll change the line width from default to 0.3 millimeters, and I'll click on OK. And for text 1, I'll change also the color from white to a blue color like this, and I'll click on OK. And for text 2, the color of this will be red, and I'll click on OK. I can close the layers property panel like this. So the first thing I have to do is to select the rectangle tool, and I'm creating this title block for A3 paper size, which is 420 millimeters by 297 millimeters. So I'll click anywhere on the screen and I'll enter the dimensions of the A3 paper size, which is 420 millimeters by 297 millimeters, and I'll press enter key, and then I can zoom extend to see this rectangle which I just created. I'm going to select this rectangle and move it to border 1 layer, so I have it in border 1, and then make sure that border 1 is activated. And the next thing I have to do is to offset this. So type O for offset command, and the offset distance is going to be 5 millimeters. So I'm going to offset this rectangle inside by 5 millimeters like this. And for this inside, I'm going to select this and explode. So type X for explode and press enter. Then I can offset the right hand side of this inside rectangle by a distance of say 60 millimeters, and I'll press enter. So offset this way by 60. Now before we continue, I would like to move the UCS icon to where we have the outer rectangle. So select the UCS icon, and I'll click to move it and place it where we have the outer rectangle like this. And again, I would like to disable the grids. I don't want to have the grids here. Now also let's offset this line from the bottom here, so that we can create different area where we can enter the field command, such as the the field where we can insert the client, the project location, the architect, and so on. So we use offset command, and the offset distance of 30 millimeters, I'll offset up this way where I can insert the company logo and location. Repeat offset, and now I'm going to offset 3 times, and by offset distance of 10 millimeters, so I'll offset up this way 3 times. Again, I'll repeat offset, and now I use offset distance of 15 millimeters, so I go up 2 times by 15 millimeters. Repeat offset. Now I'm going to use 20 millimeters, and this is where I want the project's location and title to be placed. Again, I'll repeat offset, and I'll go with 15 millimeters. So here I will have the architect, and at the top here I'll have the client. And then we're going to trim these lines quickly, so type TR for trim command. I'll select this line as cutting edge, and we can then trim off these lines like this, and then we're going to have this. The next thing we have to do is to place some text so that we can define what these fields are meant for. So we go over to the border, to the layers rather, and change to text 2, and I'll type empty for text command, and I'll specify on the screen. I'm going to type the first text here as client, and I'll press enter. So for the text size, I'm going to set the text size here to 3.5, so type 3.5, and I'll press enter. Or we can just leave this as 3 and press enter to have the text like this. So select this and move. We can move it to any position just like this. Let's have it well placed. Type M for move, and we can copy this text to other position and then later on edit it. So copy, select base point, the next thing I'm going to double click on this to edit the text. So here is architect, Alright, so we have this text added up. We can again copy to add some other text here, but before that we're going to select this line and copy to the middle. So we copy this line to the middle point here, just to create a partition where we can place text between them. So we use the trim command, and we can just trim off this line, and we'll trim off this line like this. This portion can be deleted. So we repeat copy command, and we copy this text from this position to this point. I'm going to double click to edit the size of the text. So I will change this from 3 to 2.5 and enter. And this is going to be the drawn by. So this is drawn by. I'll copy this to other positions just like this. And thereafter I can double click to edit it. Alright, so I have this edited. This is drawn by, this is checked by, the scale, the drawing number, and date and project number. So on the upper part here, we're going to offset again to create another position where we can have general notes. So I'll repeat offset command, and I'm going to offset by 10 millimeters. So I'll offset down here, and I'll make use of the trim command to trim off this line. I'm going to copy the text from here. So select and type 0 for copy, and I can copy this up this way. Double click on this. I'm going to name this general note. and I'll increase the text from 3 to 4, and I can position this in the middle. So type M for move, and we can reposition this way. After that, we're going to repeat the offset so we can have a section for revision. So repeat offset command, and I'll offset by a distance of 50 millimeters up, just like this. And then I'll repeat offset of 10 millimeters or 8 millimeters thereabout, and we can offset up this way. And then I'm going to copy this text again. So copy, so I'm going to name this revision, and I'm going to name this the revision number, the date, and the description. So we can copy this, but before we do that, let's pick a line, or let's copy this line. So copy, or rather let's create a new line. Go to border 1, and we select a line tool. We can create a new line up this way, and we can offset this line by 10 millimeters or by 15 millimeters to the left this way. Copy this text, and we can copy to this position and to this position. So this is going to be the date. So double click to edit and press enter, and here we're going to have the description, and we can move this text to the middle. So type M for move and adjust it this way, and then I think we are done creating some of the sections just like this. Again, I'm going to offset this line here so that we can have a section where we place our viewport. So type O for offset and give an offset of 2 millimeters. Offset this line towards this way, and we can trim. So we can trim off this line this way and this way. So we have this section for our viewport and this section for our title block, just like this. For the border 2, I'm going to go over to the borders and switch over to border 2, and here I'll have to activate the line width so that we can see what we are doing. So activate display line width and click on OK, and I'll pick a rectangle tool. I'll draw a rectangle this way. I'll repeat rectangle and I'll draw another rectangle this way. I'll repeat rectangle again. I'll draw a rectangle where I'm going to place a company logo. I think something just like this is fine. The next we have to place our attribute, and for that case I'm going to switch over to the text 1 layer. So we first, to place the text for attribute here, we're going to click on the insert tab and we have define attributes. So we click on this, and for the first attribute I want to define is an attribute that has multiple line text. So I'll click on multiple line, and I'm going to enter the tag as note, and I'll just copy this and I'll place it here at this point and paste and click on OK and click on OK. So I have this created just like this. Again, I'll define another attribute, and this case is not going to be a multi-line text. And first here we'll define the attribute for client, and we can just copy this and paste it here and click on OK, and then we can place that of the client where we have this, and from this we can then copy, and later on we can edit it. So copy, and we can place it this way, this way, this way, this way, and that is okay for now. Now for this project location I want to use the multiple line attribute. So I'm going to delete this and I'll select this and copy, and then I can place it just here, somewhere here. Later we can adjust the position. Again, I'm going to define a new attribute with a smaller size of write up. So define attribute, and here I'll change the text height to 2, and then I'll enter the first one as drawn by. The write up here is drawn by, and make use of underscore and type by. Make sure there's no space. Then we can copy this and paste it here. Click on OK, and that can be placed just here. We can then copy this and then copy from this position to this position, and just like this. And later on we can adjust it to look more better. So we're going to double click to edit each and every of the attribute. So for architect, we double click and we name this architect. So when we are done with this, the next thing, we can place our logo and other text before we create the title block. So I'm going to open a new drawing environment, and then I'll import my logo, which I'm going to use to place where I have the logo. So go to insert and I'll click on attach to input a picture, and I have a logo here which I'm going to use. So I'll click on open and I'll click on OK. I can specify on screen where I want this logo to be placed, just like this. Now I'm going to scale this logo, so I'll select this logo, type XC for scale, and I'll specify this point, type arrow for reference. I can then scale this logo down this way just for it to be reduced in size, and then I'll select this logo and copy to where I have my title block. So right click and go to clipboard, copy with paste point, and select any of this point. Go to drawing one, which I have my title block, and right click, go to clipboard and select paste. I have this logo here, so I'm going to move this logo down this way, and I want it to be placed here just in the middle. So I'll use offset command, and I'll offset by 1 mm inside, just like this, and I'll select this logo, type M for move, and I'll move it to this position. Again, I'm going to scale this logo to fit in, so select this logo and type XC for scale, and specify the base point, type R for reference, and I'll select this point and this point, and I can scale it up just here. After that, I can have this rectangle deleted, so I just have the logo placed here like this, and I think this is looking good. And then after that, we can bring in some text, so I will make use of this text which I already created here. So I will double click on this to copy the text. So I have this text, and I can double click to select this text and copy, and then we can click on OK. Go back to drawing where we have this, we double click, and this is note, and we can then paste our. So this is what we have. So we click on OK, and then we click on OK. I will press enter. So that is going to be shown up later on. So now we are done with creating most of the part of this drawing. Let's see if we can place some of this text properly. We're going to make use of text. Place this way. Okay, so now we place this text this way. The next thing, we have to convert this title block, or these drawings rather, into a title block. And to do that, we have on this insert tab an option called create block. So we're going to click on create block, and we're going to name this A3 title block. So this is A3 subscript title block. And we're going to say specify on screen where we want to pick the point, or the pick point on screen. So we click on OK, and we have not selected the object, so no object has been selected. So we are now going to select the object, and I'm going to select this object in the order of how I want it to be. So first I will select this client, and then I will select architect, I'll select notes, I'm going to select drawing title, sheet title, drawn by, scale, date, checked by, drawing number, project number, and lastly I'm going to select this note. And after that I can select the entire diagram just like this, and I'll press enter. And then we have our title block. So we specify on screen the pick point, and in this case I will use this origin point, so which is the same as 0, 0 and 0. We press enter, and we can edit the title block, some of the attributes which we created earlier. In the case of this client, we're going to leave it. We're going to say, okay, this should be Mr. Delkins. Okay, this is me. And this is for architect. We have Delkins. And for the notes, we're going to leave this like this. For drawing title, we're going to call this architectural drawing. For the sheet title, we're going to call this a ground floor plan. Drawn by, I'm going to use Delkins in this case. For the scale, I'm going to use an initial scale of 1:100. And for the date, I'll use a date of 2102 and 2025. Check by, I'm going to use Delkins. Drawing number, I'm going to call this A3. Project number, I can use say BD 2025-01, and I'll click on OK. So I have this. So if you take a look at this, okay, so we have a problem with this. So we can double click on this to edit this. So we're going to go into text option and change the text height to 2 and click on OK. And this look more better. So click on, we double click, and we can actually move this. Click on OK and click on OK. So we have to adjust this so it will actually fit in properly. Let's again reduce the text from to 1.8. And click on apply, and this fits in more better, so we click on OK. So I think this is more better. Alright, so this is how we created the title block, so we can see the initial content. So we can double click if we want to change this, and the enhance attribute editors comes up, so we can be able to change this and so on. So click on OK and we close. So the next thing is how to use this title block to plot your AutoCAD drawings. So for that, I'm going to click on open new drawing, or I'm going to open a new drawing from my AutoCAD files. So open a new drawing, and I have this drawing which I made, so I can open this drawing just like this. And what I want to do is to copy this title block to where I have this plan. So I can select this and right click, go to clipboard, copy with base point, and then I'll open this drawing and right click, clipboard, and paste this title block somewhere here. So you can see this is very tiny. So to make use of this title block, I'll go to layout tab, and I have this initial viewport. I can delete it, and then right click, go to page setup and modify. So I'll set this page to AutoCAD PDF quality and change the paper size to A3, and change the plot style to AutoCAD, and then I'll click on OK and click on close. And the next thing, I'll go to where I can insert the block. So I have on the home tab, I'm going to go to insert, where I have a title block. All the blocks are created here, so I have this title block, and to insert this here, I'm going to type 0, the origin, 0, 0, and I'll press enter. And I want to maintain this default value, so I'll click on OK. So you can see these title blocks fitting like this. And we have a little problem with this. We can double click on this and then change the text height to 1.8. Okay, let's go back and pick this again properly. So this is 1.8, and I'll click on apply and click on close. So we have the text contained here like this. So this is our title block. So the next thing is to create a viewport where we can have our drawing inside of this title block. Okay, so we go to layout tab and select rectangular, and we can click on this edge and draw a viewport just like this. And then we have our drawings. We can double click on this viewport, deactivate the grid lines, and we can zoom. And then we apply scale. Let's use a scale of 1:50, and we have this drawing like this. We can also use a scale of 1:50, or we can also create a custom scale of 1:80. So we add a new scale, and we're going to name this 1:80. And on the drawing unit, this is going to be 80, and we click on OK. Click on OK. So we select a scale of 1:80, and I think this look much better on this plan. So we double click outside to deactivate, and we can pan to see our drawings like this. So from here we can be able to edit. So double click on the client, we change the client here and all other values of this attribute. So this is how you can create a title block of your own. And then let's see a preview of this. So we'll go to page setup manager, modify, and let's have a preview. So this is how our title block is going to look like when it is printed. So I hope you like this tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.